Okay, I want to talk about this because it keeps coming back to me. And I was about to say something else, and I feel like I seem to have forgot that. But this right here, I've been wanting to say since this morning. And each time I put it off and say something else, it keeps coming back. So, just because something happens all the time or there's something that happens everywhere, that's everywhere you go, that don't make it right. I think that needs to be put out there. That doesn't make it right. So, like, if it's a particular job, because this is something that a lot of people can understand when it comes to jobs, right? And that's why I use that example. But, like, if it's a particular job and you like being overworked and just working, they pack a lot of stuff for you to do in an 8-hour day, and they act like they can't give you 30 to 40, in most places, act like they can't give you 30, 45 minutes to an hour of overtime, and then they can't find nobody else to do the work, so they expect you to just take all their crap, right? And then what you have is like, oh yeah, that's everywhere. There's so many people that do that. No, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean it should be excused, because you know what? Especially these large corporations, they have the money to bring in some help. It don't make any sense for like some of these registers when I go in these stores for the lines to be all the way down the aisles, and it's only 2 doggone registers open, but they have like 15 doggone registers, but it's only 2 or 3 that's open, and you got doggone lines all the way down. You have lines all the way down the food aisles or whatever. That doesn't make sense. Same thing with Target. That doesn't make sense. I don't go to Walmart much, but I think they got they got about 15 different cash register, but only like 3 lines may be open. I don't hardly go to Walmart. But no. And then just anywhere. When it comes to nursing, I'm a therapist, I'm an occupational therapist, anywhere. And people say, well, that's just how it is anywhere you go. Well, that doesn't mean you need to see. When people say that, they kind of tell you to get tougher and suck it up. When people say that, they kind of telling you to suck it up. And to them, that's called wisdom. To them, that's called wisdom. When they say stuff like that, that's supposed to be wisdom. And I decided that that's not wisdom. To allow something to keep going just because it happens everywhere doesn't mean it needs to keep being done. Okay? That's not wisdom to say it happens everywhere. That's not wisdom. That's not wisdom to suggest that somebody needs to suck up mistreatment or any type of abuse because it happens everywhere. Because the excuse is, oh, well, that's just how it is. You know, you got folks like that they the ones, those are the CEOs of the world. It's people like that. So you kind of have to play ball. That's not wisdom. And that's why I was saying in my last video, my last upload, that just because somebody is older does not make them wiser, because there's a lot of older people that say that. There's a lot of older people that say that. They suggest that you suck stuff up and toughen it out, because it's a lot of people like that run businesses, and because there's so many corrupt people that run businesses that's willing to have people as slaves and not pay them their worth and just suck it up because that's just how the world is. First of all, that's their perception of the world, and that's their perception is because what they accepted. And that brings me to what I knew I was going to say next when I upload my next one. I'm going to try to remember it because I'm about to say it now. When people say don't claim that, and when you're going through something that like, no, don't claim it, no. That's the point of accepting where your perception is right now. My perception might be I might see a bunch of flying monkeys around the doggone sky. I might see a bunch of doggone bats on Starbucks, and no pun intended with the bat word, you know. Or I'm just making up names, just whatever comes, right? Because that's what's in my perception. Oh, don't claim that you see it. No. Accept your perception for wherever it is. That doesn't mean that somebody else have to share your perception. That's the problem with people. is that they don't get it yet, that different people have a different perception. If you don't like it, just do the work to change it. I have to do the work to change my perception too. I've been dealing with some stuff for a little while, and I have to do the work to change my perception. Because if I know that we live, I'm gonna say because that's what was shown to me. I'm not gonna. That's why I don't give everybody stuff to believe the way I believe. Right? When I say it came to me that a thought form came to me saying that you might not believe it, but you are under a digital dome. And then I had a dream, and I looked at myself, and I saw a bunch of green numbers. Okay, well, somebody else might not want to believe that they are made of codes. They might not believe they're made of codes. They might want to believe that they're really flesh and blood. I'm not going to change what they believe either. But all I know is on this channel, I like to upload my thoughts and my feelings. And I have to be safe in doing that. And anybody who feel like they want to express themselves in whichever way they can, they should always feel free to create whatever little channel they want to, even if they don't have but 20 subscribers, and to say whatever they're feeling. Because that's really what YouTube is all about. It's not about trying to say what you think everybody is going to agree with. That's not YouTube. YouTube is really saying what's on your heart, what's on your mind, sharing kind of who you are. Or how you feel. It's not about trying to think if somebody else is going to agree with everything you say. That's not really YouTube to me. That's not raw. That's not the real you. Okay? But yeah, so I'm going to try to remember to talk about this. Like if it's something that you're perceiving at the moment, people say, well, don't claim it. No, you don't have to claim that it's going to happen forever. You don't have to claim, well, I'm talking about it now, so I'm not going to upload another video on it. You don't have to claim that whatever's going on is going to be victorious. No, you don't have to claim that. But I think it's important to claim that you are perceiving this issue right now that is currently in your perception, because not wanting to claim that that's what's going on creates a bit of psychosis. To me, that's what psychosis is that you're out of touch with reality. If it's something going on and you see it and you really physically, spiritually, mentally experience this every day, especially in the so-called physical world, and you're seeing it, and it could be affecting you in some kind of emotional way, some kind of mental way, that's currently where your perception is. That's currently where your consciousness is. That's currently where your conscious awareness is. And so accept that that's where you are right at this point, but if you want to change, you're going to do something to make it different. So you don't have to claim that it's going to be victorious over you. Because like, if something happened to you, you get sick or something happened, there used to be certain churches, and I'm not about to talk about the church, I'm just saying this, as I heard this from a particular pastor from a church years ago. This is not to talk about the church. I don't, but he was talking about how, if you think you have a cold and you start feeling a cold coming on, well, don't claim it, don't claim it. Don't say you think you have it, don't claim it, don't claim it. And maybe that might work for that person, but for some people it does not do good, because when you say don't claim it, it's almost like they're acting like it's not there, and they're kind of detaching themselves from whatever reality they might be perceiving at that time. They are kind of detaching themselves from it, and that doesn't always make the problem go away. It just make you feel like you got away with something, but it always comes back around. It's like karma, and it comes back around on you because what it is that by not thinking about it, by trying to act like you're not thinking about it, doesn't mean that problem goes away. And it becomes a karmic type of cycle. It becomes a karmic cycle until whatever that is taken care of, or you somehow raise in consciousness to not have to deal with that particular type of pattern. But it's not a good thing to say, oh, I don't claim it, I don't claim it. No, it's not about not claiming it. You don't claim that it owns you. Whatever it is, you don't have to claim that it owns you. But accepting whatever your perception is right now for what it is, that's acceptance. And you don't want to get into psychosis, constantly sweeping things under the rug and saying, well, I don't claim it, I don't claim it. And you're really just trying to sweep it under the rug, and that's just that's psychosis. That's kind of a psychosis. But anyway, yeah, so that's all I was gonna say about that little part. So maybe I didn't need to like upload a whole another video just for that little bit. Hold on. But yeah. Yeah, but that's what I was talking about. Saying that something happens a lot, or if it's common, does not mean that it should keep going. And this is another thing I was going to say. You know, I just see this often. It could be on TV, it can be in a workplace, it can be with family. Just, you know, this is something I've seen. I've seen people like, for example, right? Somebody who might be in AA and giving their testimonies and stuff of how they got through their addictions. This is just an example. This is not my experience with anybody. This is an example of some of the things I might have seen from other people. And they give their testimony. And they talk about, I just want to thank you just for being there for me when I was just no good. And they want to give all this credit to the people that kept taking their shit. And now, let me say this. Sometimes people are assigned to you to keep tolerating things because maybe that person might have been assigned to you from birth. That person might have been destined to be around you from birth to help you through it. But here's the thing. I would be careful just with the energy of, I want to thank you just for being there when I was an asshole and you were always there for me. I don't want that energy I don't want that to be the type of energy that goes around where you just accept shit. I just want to thank you for all the times that you've been there and I was just such a bad person. And you know what? But what made you change for real? Because if that person was always there no matter how you treated them, then what was it that made you change? Because people like that don't cause change. People like that perpetuate the problem. So who was it really that caused you to change? And sometimes whatever caused you to change was somebody who kicked you on your ass. That's the one you need to be thanking, is a motherfucker who put their foot in your ass. That's the reason you up there with that testimony, whether it's somebody that you might have stole from and they decided to call the police and put your ass in jail, or whatever it is. That's the motherfucker to thank that you got off of drugs, not somebody who stood there and took your shit. Because people who constantly stay there and take abuse are part of the problem too. Now, I get that it's hard to speak up because people don't like for you to speak up. I get that. I have a problem with expressing myself. That's why I do a lot of these videos, because I come from a family that don't feel like I have a right to express myself. Or if it's something that might make me upset, they'll tell me I don't have a right to be upset. That's the shit that caused you to blow. That's the shit that caused you to blow up buildings. Because when somebody shuts you down from expressing yourself and you got to constantly hold in your anger, then you turn to murder. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not saying I'm going to murder nobody, but that's what you're going to end up turning to. If somebody keeps shutting you down and don't want you to express yourself, but they're going to keep poking at you, but then you got a whole family to say, but you can't express it, then you're going to murder them. You're going to kill their asses because you got to shut yourself down. And it's going to be stuck in, and you'll turn around and you're going to fuck somebody up. Because that energy ain't going nowhere. It needs to come out some kind of way. If they want to shut you down when you can't express yourself, you're going to turn around and take their ass out physically. I'm not saying you as a people who listen. I'm saying that's the kind of shit that happens. I'm not saying you as a specific person who's listening. So basically, and another one is on jobs, when people are overworked and they frustrated and they burnt out. And they finally say, enough is enough, I can't have this no more. But then you find somebody else that they have enough stamina to take more ass whippings and be overworked and don't say nothing. And so then you finally get a boss that says to this person that had the stamina to keep taking that abuse, that I want to thank you just for being there. I just want to thank you for being there. I want to thank you for being there for me and being by my side. No. So you saying that the other people are wrong because they finally got tired of you? See, this is bullshit the way this society thinks. So the other people are wrong because they got tired of your shit. Because the reason why you decided to change your ways is because people finally got tired of your shit. Not because somebody decided to keep staying there and taking your shit. See, that's the yes people. And the yes people never change anything. They go along because they feel like that's the world is, and they accept that that's just how the world gonna be, and there's nothing they can do to change it, and they just accept all kinds of abuse. Those are not the ones that create change. As intelligent as they might be, or whatever they might be, they might give great advice, I guess. You know, those are not the ones those aren't the people that create change. Those are the people that just try to get in where they fit in. They don't do anything to rock the boat. They don't do anything to create change. Those people are not the ones that you have drug addicts change. They're not the reasons why you have certain, totalitarian type bosses or whatever change, or whatever. Those people, those kind of people are not the ones that create change. They should not be thanked. Now, if somebody could be assigned to me and I could be rough, like if I could be really going through something really bad, and you might have a person that's assigned to me, and maybe I'm not the greatest towards them, but then that person is created to maybe support me, right? You have folks like that in your life. Yeah, but you have folks like that in your life. That you still might not be the greatest, but that person is created to for you. And then that's a different story. That's a different story, because that person was put in your life for a purpose in that season. But other than that though, just all around what we see with the world today and what's going on with the world today is a lot of people that's just accepting mistreatment. It's a lot of people that's accepting a lot of corruption. It's a lot of people that's accepting greed. It's a lot of people that's accepting all this separation and all this chaos. It's a lot of people that's just accepting it, and they should not be thanked. Nobody should come and thank them. They need to thank the person that decided to chop their fucking head off. That's who they need to thank, because that's the one that created change. It's always a little bitty exceptions of somebody who's placed in your life to support you, because people need support, okay? And you might not be perfect, but that is not, that's those rare occasions. That's not to be used every time. That's not to be used for the overwhelming wickedness, corruption, and greed that we see in the world today. That small, rare example is not to be used for the amount of wickedness, corruption, and greed that we see in the world. Okay? And mistreatment and abuse and all of that stuff, and just complete sociopaths and psychopaths. That rare thing right there is not to be used to make an excuse for all of this that's going on. But anyway, that's it. Now I'll talk later.